Oh wow, this is crazy. Looks like tariff checks are really happening. Let's follow the link.
So I got a question for you guys. Where are those checks? Remember, just a couple weeks ago, we were promised checks.
On this edition of FAFO, the $2,000 checks edition. So there's a lady on Facebook who vented out her frustrations on our current president, asking how come stimulus checks are not coming out in the form of $2,000. Where she writes the following: I love President Trump and I voted for him always, but I'm upset, I'm mad at him right now, and praying God speaks to him that he will change and give all legal USA citizens, including those on disability, that $2,000 tariff stimulus check. I'm very upset. I'm praying Trump does. Yes, God talk to him, I pray. Oh God, intervene. People on disability income are the main ones who need that money. Let's all pray, y'all. Where she then writes in response to Tammy saying, but Trump said it's only for taxpayers, people who file, and mid-income people. I'm praying he changes that, like I said, to give to us who are on disability income. Oh yes, God. Tammy then responds to Daphne saying those on disability, retired, etc. are also qualified to get a check too. Daphne responds saying, nope, Trump only said what I said above. That's why I'm so upset. Well, Daphne, here's the thing. I actually have some inside scoop on when these checks are coming. It's coming on February 31st. And you know what? If they do come out, I'll say that I was wrong. But here's the thing. If they do come out, all of those tariffs have actually been paid by US importers, who then pass the rising costs down to the customers, meaning us. Because Donny Boy in the past has always said that the other countries pay the tariffs, but in actuality they don't. So if anything, you're just getting chump change back for any of the money that you shelled out to buy any products. And speaking of those $2,000 checks, that's something that's a boogie word to you called socialism. Because MAGA logic is socialism equals bad. So if you do accept that, that just makes you a hypocrite. But in reality, your mantra really is socialism for me, but not for thee. But anyways, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and have the day that you voted for. Bye.
To be paid to everyone directly from tariff money except the ultra rich. And I understand it's going to trigger a lot of y'all because Trump bad, never going to give us anything, blah, blah, blah. But I'd like to point out a couple things. Americans are down right now, and Trump is damn sure going to make sure that he gets the sentiment back. So right now is the time for checks to be sent. I'm still feeling a little bit iffy about it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen.
Really, Captain Obvious? Your name is Captain Obvious, and you think that Donald Trump is going to send you a $2,000 check? Holy shit. Okay, so just to clarify, there was no $5,000 Doge check. There is no big beautiful golden wall that Mexico paid for. There was no free IVF. Hillary never went to jail, neither did Obama. There were no lower prices on day one, and he did not end all the wars in the world. But this promise, Captain Obvious, this is the one. This is the one he finally comes through on, right? Can I tell you something, buddy? Outside of Trump's cult, to literally everyone else, he is the most obvious con man any of us have ever seen in our life. All he has to do is give you guys a promise of a better
monthly dividend checks. That's what's currently being discussed. Now, it's crazy to think that we are going back to some of the pandemic era stimulus that was sent out, but that's exactly what lawmakers are discussing, because at this time, Republicans realize that they have promised so much in terms of additional stimulus and relief that they know they have to get Democrats on board. And Democrats know they have a leg to stand on now as well, because some of the things that they proposed in the past are now coming forward. I'm going to break more of this down in just a moment. I'm also going to read an email, or I'm going to read portions of this email, some of which the person doesn't want disclosed, but this person has been correct on so many different things, and I want to explain what they're saying now. But look at this. One of the big questions I get all the time is, are we going to get a $2,000 tariff check? Well, here's the thing. President Trump has not said $2,000 lately. He's talked about a tariff dividend, talked about a tariff refund, talked about additional relief, but he has not said the words $2,000 tariff dividend check. I want to play you what he said the other day, though. Listen to this.
Projected to be the largest tax refund season ever, and we're going to be giving back refunds out of the tariffs because we've taken in literally trillions of dollars, and we're going to be giving a nice dividend to the people in addition to reducing debt.
Did you see we're going to be giving a nice dividend to the people? He's not talking about a check now, okay? But it doesn't mean they're not going to do that. But he's talking about a dividend. Not $2,000, not $1,000, a dividend. I want to keep playing this though. Listen to this.
We, as you know, I inherited a lot of debt, but it's peanuts compared to the kind of numbers we're talking about. So we're going to be making a dividend to the people, and additionally, we're going to be able to reduce debt. And as time goes by over the next 2, 3, 4 years, those numbers are going to go up. And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay, because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous, that you're not going to have income tax to pay.
Okay. That is key. That you're not going to have income tax to pay. More than 50% of the American people do not pay any income tax. Okay? In 2022, out of all the refunds that were sent in, 68% of the refunds resulted in 68% of the taxes that were sent in, it resulted in 68% of those people received a refund. Okay? Now, I want to read something to you. Listen to this right here. Somebody wrote to me, and again, this person was right when it came to...
So I got a question for you guys. Where are those checks? Remember, just a couple weeks ago, we were promised checks from Trump. I think he was calling them tariff surplus checks, tariff refund checks, what the fuck he was calling them. But he was promising to send everybody $2,000 checks. Well, where are they? It's amazing. It really is that people still believe this lying buffoon. They believe him every single time. How many times does he have to promise to send people checks and then doesn't before people admit that this guy's a fucking liar? And the only reason he does this, he does it when he feels the most desperate. When his poll numbers are dropping, when he's looking at, the midterm elections and he starts shitting orange bricks because he's worried that Republicans are going to lose control of Congress, which they are if things continue like this. Not only are they going to lose, they're going to lose big, so keep up the pressure. But as soon as that happens and Republicans lose, that's when the investigations begin. And that's why he's so scared. And so he makes promises like this. Remember, we were promised other checks. Wasn't all that long ago, people here were expecting Doge refund checks. Remember that? And that was all over the place. It was $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. I even heard $8,000 Doge refund checks. So where are those tariff surplus checks? The idea that there's even a surplus is freaking laughable. You know what a surplus is? It's when you have more revenue than you do expenses. Well, how can that be when our deficit right now is the largest it has ever been? In a 2-month period, we are adding about $1 trillion to the national debt. And you think we have money to send people checks from surpluses? My God, the things that these fucking MAGAs will believe. This is why we say that these are the dumbest fucking people on the face of the earth.
Oh wow, this is crazy. Looks like tariff checks are really happening. Let's follow the link. Just kidding, it's just another scam email. But there he is with all the money. And he says this is the only tariff rebate message authorized by Donald Trump. Would you accept a tariff rebate check signed by Donald Trump? The deadline to answer is midnight. And they give you the answer, yes, MAGA, or no. And then you sign your name there. And they actually have a little countdown clock that is tabulated to my time zone, oddly enough. Oh, oops, but wait, there's a catch. In order to submit your yes, I would like a Tarriff Rebate check, you have to make a minimum donation of $20.25. So, yeah,